Hello and welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I am Shivangi Mishra and here are today's top stories. India leads the way in wildlife conservation. Global chefs embrace Japanese ingredients in Kyoto competition. And World Sindhi Congress protests at UNHRC over rights violations in Sindh. Worldwide, efforts to protect wildlife and biodiversity are growing through policies, protected areas and awareness campaigns. Celebrated on March 3rd, World Wildlife Day amplifies global action against habitat loss, poaching and climate change. Let's dive into India's conservation journey.
India is a land of incredible wildlife and biodiversity with diverse ecosystems ranging from the Himalayas to coastal mangroves. The country is home to iconic species like tigers, elephants and rhinos, making conservation essential for ecological balance and sustainability. On World Wildlife Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Gir National Park in Gujarat and chaired the 7th meeting of the National Board for Wildlife. The board reviewed key conservation efforts, including the expansion of protected areas and flagship programs like Project Tiger, Project Elephant and Project Snow Leopard. Discussions also focused on initiatives for dolphin and Asiatic lion conservation, along with establishing the International Big Cats Alliance.
India has done fairly well in terms of conserving tigers. We are the global leaders for tiger conservation, and taking cue from how India has conserved its national animal, tiger, or its national heritage animal, which is the Asian elephant. India has also established or rather hosting the International Big Cats Alliance, which is to essentially work with all the big cat range countries. So I see India has done fairly well.
India stands among the world's most biodiverse nations, covering just 2.4% of Earth's land while hosting 7 to 8% of all known species, including over 45,000 plants and 91,000 animals. Its vast and varied ecosystems, forests, wetlands, grasslands, deserts and coastal habitats nurture rich biodiversity and provide invaluable ecological benefits. The country is also home to 4 of the world's 34 major biodiversity hotspots: the Himalayas, the Western Ghats, the Northeast region and the Nicobar Islands, underscoring its global conservation significance. To safeguard this natural heritage, the Government of India, through the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, has introduced robust policies and initiatives. In the 2025-26 Union Budget, the Environment Ministry received $410 million, marking a 9% increase from the previous year. The government allocated $54 million for the integrated development of wildlife habitats and $35 million for Project Tiger and Project Elephant, reflecting an 18% rise in funding. These investments reaffirm India's commitment to protecting its rich wildlife and ecosystems for future generations. WWF India and similar organizations aid wildlife conservation through habitat protection, anti-poaching, species recovery, community engagement and policy advocacy to safeguard biodiversity and promote sustainability.
We are working with the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, with enforcement agencies and directly with the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, with the state forest departments to strengthen protection for wildlife populations and their habitats in our country. We are also working with Traffic International and through our own wildlife trade control program to address this illegal wildlife trade.
Besides government efforts, communities and industries in India have undertaken significant wildlife conservation initiatives. A standout example is Vantara, a cutting-edge rescue and conservation center by the Ambani Group in Gujarat, recently inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spanning 3,000 acres within the Reliance Jamnagar refinery complex, Vantara serves as a sanctuary for over 2,000 animals across 43 species. Equipped with state-of-the-art veterinary facilities and a dedicated team of 2,100 professionals, it plays a pivotal role in rescue, rehabilitation and conservation. Beyond safeguarding wildlife, Vantara fosters awareness by educating visitors on the importance of biodiversity preservation.
Our aim is to do capacity building. So all the 150 zoos in India become world class, and we are a world leading facility across all states and across the country. India should be the first in setting standards, and the world will follow us, where our animals are not treated badly, where the world looks at us for animal welfare and wildlife welfare.
India's unwavering commitment to wildlife conservation blends innovation, policy, and community action. By integrating technology, global collaboration, and sustainable practices, the nation continues to set benchmarks, ensuring a thriving, biodiverse future for generations to come.
The Japan Culinary Art Award, held in Kyoto, celebrated the world's top chefs in Japanese cuisine. Organized by the Japanese Culinary Academy and supported by the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, the event featured 13 chefs, including international winners. Competing under a 4-hour time limit, chefs showcased their skills by preparing traditional Japanese lunchboxes. Take a look.
The Japan Culinary Art Award was recently held in Kyoto to honor the world's top chefs in Japanese cuisine. The event was organized by the Japanese Culinary Academy and supported by the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, as well as Kyoto City. A total of 13 chefs, including 3 international winners from the World Preliminary Contest, showcased their culinary skills.
日本の食文化は素晴らしいなとか、日本の農産物、海産物、本当に美味しいなというふうに皆さんに思っていただく、そういったきっかけになることを目指してまして、海外の日本食を作っていらっしゃる料理人の方たちに、こうした機会に腕を振るっていただいて、皆さんの地元の方たちに見ていただくことで、魅力を伝えられることができるんじゃないかなと考えているところです。
The chefs were given a time limit of 4 hours to prepare their dishes. They created traditional lunchboxes that showcased the essence of Japanese cuisine.
I think it was the best way to learn how much I learned from until today preparing for this contest, so I'm amazingly happy for the experience.
初めて使った食材は、うどんですね。硬さはあったので、一回ボイルしてから切り込んで天ぷらで揚げました。
Fue camarón vivo. Lo cocinamos y lo hicimos para un shirashi, para acompañar shirashi sushi. Claro, creo que sería un ingrediente muy importante en la cocina, algo nunca antes vistos en México, y creo que a los clientes les gustaría mucho ver un camarón vivo y que es demasiado fresco. Entonces creo que sería muy buena idea tener en el futuro camarón vivo.
日本料理の技術、センスという部分もあるし、それから文化的なレベルも上げていきたいし、今18万件以上世界中に日本料理店あるんですけども、そこのレベルもですね、どんどん上げていかないといけないということから、日本料理を目指している人たち、こういう人たちを増やしていきたいというふうに思っています。
5 Japanese chefs were recognized for their exceptional skills. Meanwhile, foreign disciples of Japanese culinary art explored a diverse range of Japanese ingredients, inspiring them to craft even more exquisite and authentic Japanese cuisine.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
The streets of Tehran were bustling as Iranians prepared for Nowruz celebrations amid fears of war and economic hardship in the year ahead. In the Iranian calendar, Nowruz marks the first day of spring and the vernal equinox, and it's celebrated by more than 300 million people all around the world. The tradition has its roots in the ancient Zoroastrian religion, when families gather and exchange gifts. During the holiday, Iranians lay a table of different elements called haft sin to celebrate the arrival of spring. However, escalating tensions between Iran and the US and Israel have overshadowed celebrations. Iran's rulers are facing a string of crises, including energy and water shortages, a collapsing currency, and growing fears of an Israeli strike on its nuclear facilities. The Iranian rial has shed more than 90% of its value against the dollar since the sanctions were reimposed in 2018, according to foreign exchange websites, officials and lawmakers, and official inflation hovers around 40%. Christian devotees from India and Sri Lanka gathered in Kachathivu Island last week to offer prayers and mark the St. Anthony Church Festival. Kachathivu Island, ceded to Sri Lanka by India in the 1970s, saw thousands of devotees visiting the Catholic Church dedicated to St. Anthony, patron saint of seafarers. The festival included a holy mass where devotees were seen reciting prayers and a procession which was led by the priests. Indian Navy officers were also seen taking part in the procession. Residents of Quetta, capital of Pakistan's southwest Balochistan province, this week expressed concerns about safety amid heightened security following violent incidents in the province. The BLA claimed responsibility for a deadly attack in Noshki district on Sunday, March 16th, where a vehicle laden with explosives was driven into a paramilitary convoy, killing at least 5 and wounding over 30. This attack comes just days after the BLA hijacked the Jafar Express train in Balochistan on March 11th, blowing up train tracks in an attack that killed 31 soldiers and civilians, the military said. Quetta residents are opting to stay indoors rather than venturing out for Ramadan Eid shopping, citing persistent fears of terrorism and violence, according to local resident Navid Khan. The city of Quetta remains on high alert, with multiple checkpoints established and a heavy deployment of security personnel. The Zeri flyover, situated behind Quetta cantonment, has been closed until further notice due to security concerns. A Balochistan Provincial Assembly member Zmarak Achakzai warned that the region's situation is spiraling out of control, urging the government to safeguard citizens' rights and provide access to resources, equal rights, and job opportunities to prevent desperation-driven extremism.
Moving on. Members of the World Sindhi Congress held a protest at the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva this week to draw attention to the ongoing rights violations in Sindh by Pakistan. Activists highlighted critical issues such as land grabbing and systematic persecution, calling for urgent international intervention. A report.
The World Sindhi Congress staged a protest outside the UNHRC office in Geneva during its 58th session this week, raising awareness of human rights abuses faced by the Sindhi people under the Pakistani state. The protest focused on the worsening crisis in Sindh, particularly the devastating impact of 6 new canals being constructed on the river Indus. The activists warned that these canals, along with long-standing water theft, are exacerbating environmental damage and displacement of Sindhis.
I mean, there are so many atrocities are happening. It's very difficult to elaborate in just few minutes. But one of the most critical catastrophe that we are facing, that Punjab, the Pakistan state, the Pakistan establishment, they are constructing new canals. Sindh, which is suffering already from severe shortage. So our agriculture destroyed, our the deltas destroyed, our people, our communities are destroyed and displaced. They want to take the last drop of our water. so that the Sindhi people die, and once they die, they can occupy whole Sindh. But the whole Sindh is risen.
Additionally, the activists also condemned the allotment of land to the Pakistani military under the guise of corporate farming and raised concerns over enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, and the persecution of Sindhi Hindus.
हमारा ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो सिंधु दरिया के ऊपर जो 6 कैनाल्स हैं, इलीगल अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कैनाल्स जो बन रहे हैं, वो उनके खिलाफ ये प्रोटेस्ट है। ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशन हो रही है सिंध में, ब्लास्फेमी के इश्यूज़ हैं, और जो इन्फोर्स डिसअपीरेंस है, और जो है फोर्स कन्वर्जन है। इस तरह के बहुत सारे इश्यूज़ हैं जिसके ऊपर जो है ना हमने ये प्रोटेस्ट आज किया है। लेकिन हमारा मेन मकसद ये है कि हमारे जो दरिया है उसके ऊपर जो कैनाल बना रहे हैं, और उसके बाद जो हमारी ज़मीन है गैर कानूनी तौर पर उन पर वो कब्ज़ा कर रहे हैं, और वहाँ पर जो है ना वो ग्रीन इनिशिएटिव के नाम से, कॉर्पोरेट फार्मिंग के नाम से जो है ना वो वहाँ पर कब्ज़ा कर रहे हैं। तो हम तो एक तरफ से हमारा पानी जा रहा है, दूसरी तरफ से हमारी ज़मीनें जा रही हैं।
The activists demanded the immediate halt of canal construction, adherence to international water laws, a ban on military land allotments, and an end to rights violations. They urged the UN and international community to intervene, establish a fact-finding mission, and take urgent action to protect the Sindhi people from further suffering.
Jammu and Kashmir is making strides in development, overcoming tough conditions. In Sevna Panchayat, Udhampur, a new multi-purpose sports field funded with 25 lakhs promotes physical and mental fitness for youth. This state-of-the-art stadium addresses the region's infrastructure gap, offering local athletes a world-class facility to thrive. We have a report.
Jammu and Kashmir, with its unparalleled natural beauty, is on a strong path of development, overcoming challenging climatic and geographical conditions. In Sevna Panchayat, Udhampur district, a new multi-purpose sports field has been built to help boost sports and keep the youth physically and mentally fit. Funded with 25 lakhs from the Block Development Council, this project aims to keep kids away from drugs and create more opportunities for them to stay active and healthy.
ये बीडीसी ग्रांट का स्पोर्ट्स स्टेडियम नटवाला जहाँ सिवना में बनाया गया है, ताकि काफ़ी तादाद में बच्चे जहाँ आकर खेल सकें। और नशे की आदत है जो आजकल चल रहा है, कोई चिट्टे का नशा कर रहा है, कोई किधर और जा रहा है। हम चाहते हैं, हमारी पूरा ब्लॉक सिवना ये चाहता है कि ताकि बच्चे जहाँ पर आके खेल सकें। हम एलजी गवर्नमेंट और भारत सरकार का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं जो हमें पंचायती राज में ये काम करने का मौका मिला है। इसमें खेलने वाले बच्चे तो हज़ारों की तादाद में जहां आएंगे और स्पोर्ट्स का लुत्फ़ उठा सकते हैं।
This state-of-the-art sports stadium is the first of its kind in the district, addressing the long-standing lack of proper sports infrastructure in rural areas. It eliminates the need for athletes to travel to Udhampur, providing local enthusiasts with a world-class facility to pursue their athletic dreams.
हमारे गांव में जो है इंडोर स्टेडियम का निर्माण हुआ है और इसके लिए मैं हमारी गवर्नमेंट का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं। हमारे गांव में जो पहले खेलने वाले बच्चे बच्चियां होते थे वो उनको खेलने के लिए उधमपुर जाना पड़ता था, लेकिन अभी जो हमारा ये स्टेडियम है इसकी वजह से हम अभी यहाँ पर ही अच्छे से खेल पाएंगे और हमारे आने वाले समय में हमारे गाँव से भी बच्चे नेशनल इंटरनेशनल जाया करेंगे। हमारे स्कूल में से बहुत से बच्चे इस साल नेशनल खो खो में भी गए हैं, तो इस ग्राउंड का ये महत्वपूर्ण होगा कि इसकी वजह से हम आगे आने वाले समय में और अच्छे से खेल पाएंगे और बहुत से बच्चे हमारे गांव के नेशनल तक भी पहुंचेंगे।
The government has taken significant steps to uplift children in Jammu and Kashmir, from organizing vibrant cultural festivals to hosting health camps in remote areas, ensuring well-beings across the region. Infrastructure development is also a key focus, with new schools, roads, hospitals and buildings being built. Additionally, educational outreach programs are enhancing learning opportunities in the farthest corner of the valley.
हमने कई दफ़ा सोचा कि बच्चों को खेलने के लिए कोई अच्छा प्ले फील्ड नहीं था, तो इसलिए मैंने सोचा कि मैं क्यों ना अपनी ग्रांट से ही, जो हमारी ग्रांट जो 25 लाख रुपए आती है हमें, तो हम जहाँ पे रखेंगे एक सिवना में मैंने एक जगह मुकर्रर की, क्योंकि ये नेशनल हाईवे के भी पास है और सेंट्रल प्लेस है सभी लोगों का, क्योंकि युवाओं को खेलने के लिए कहीं भी कोई अच्छी प्ले फील्ड नहीं थी, तो इसलिए मैंने सोचा कि हम जहाँ पे एक अच्छी प्ले फील्ड बनाएंगे जिसमें नेट वगैरह लगा होगा कि बच्चों को जो युवा हैं हमारे, जहाँ स्कूल के बच्चे हैं या और भी गाँव के जो बेचारे युवा लड़के हैं, जो क्योंकि आजकल पता तो है कि बेरोज़गार लड़के हैं, कहीं अगर उनको कोई काम नहीं मिलेगा तो नशे की तरफ भी जाते हैं।
This sports stadium will help combat drug abuse and promote physical and mental well-being, offering children a chance to stay active, focused and channel their energy into positive pursuits away from harmful temptations. By offering a dedicated space for sports, it motivates youth to excel with opportunities to represent the country on larger platforms and even build a career in sports.
यहाँ के ऑलरेडी कुछ बच्चे हैं जो नेशनल एक्चुअली खेल चुके हैं, तो यहाँ पे इतना अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिलता इन बच्चों को, बिकॉज़ वहाँ पे दूर जाना पड़ेगा उनको, जम्मू जाना पड़ता है या फिर उधमपुर सिटी जाना पड़ता है। अब उनको ये है कि उनको लोकली ये चीज़ें अवेलेबल होंगी, यहाँ पे वो अपना पोटेंशियल का यूज़ कर सकते हैं।
For the residents of Sivna Panchayat and surrounding areas, the multi-purpose sports field represents not just a physical facility, but a gateway to nurturing sporting talents and promoting a culture of sports and physical fitness in rural communities.
As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.